What's up, everybody? It's Stephen Williams, founder and president of CreditRepairShop.com. And in today's video, we're going to talk about, do you deserve good credit? We're going to talk about the debt that's released into the market, and I'll put the timestamps here for the people that's not interested in certain things that I talk about. And we're going to also go into questions and answers from people from YouTube and emails and whatever else, however else people get questions to me about credit repair and debt. So first, I want to start off at the beginning here, where we're going to talk about, do you deserve good credit? Do you believe you deserve good credit? Do you want good credit? When I talk to people about that, and when I think back even for myself, when I had to make changes to start thinking about my credit, was everybody has to have a reason why. What is your big reason why? When you do anything in life, there has to be a big reason why, or you're not even gonna really want to do it, because we do things because of we want them, and there's a big reason why. So it's like, I want good credit, so why do you want good credit? That benefit of that why is why you will do the things that you need to do to get good credit. And then the way to get to that reason why is to ask yourself, what will you do with good credit? What will you do? And that'll help you fill in those gaps, those holes. So what I want you to do every morning, even though you might have issues now with debt, issues with money due to this virus situation, issues with your credit, what I want you to do, and I know that this works, and you need to just take my word for it and trust what I'm about to tell you to do, because this will work. And for you that take this advice, you will see that things are going to start changing for you. And a lot of times you may not even really understand it, but you're going to have to just flow with it. And so every morning, I want you to wake up. Every morning, I want you to wake up and say to yourself that you have good credit. I want you to say it 10 times. I want you to imagine it. I want you to feel it, that you have good credit. How will you feel if you knew in the morning you woke up and you looked at your credit monitor or whatever you're using to look at your credit, and it had 800s across the board, or 750s, or 775? How would you feel? Next thing I want you to do is I want you to also do that at night. I want you to say it. I want you to write it on a piece of paper, and I want you to feel it. Now, let me tell you what's going to happen when you do this, and this will show you that I've went through this process myself, because there's a lot of people that'll tell you things, and then when you have the feeling that I'm about to tell you that you're going to have when you do this, they won't tell you how to deal with it. When you say to yourself that you have good credit, and you can't say I'm going to, I don't know. You have to act as if you have good credit right now. Whatever that score is, I want you to write that score on a piece of paper, and I want you to visualize that you look at your credit monitoring sheet and it says that score on there. And I want you to say that to yourself 10 times in the morning. Say it before you go to bed at night, and I want you to feel it. What's going to happen is you're going to have what I call a subconscious feeling of reminding you, saying, hey, you don't have that score. You don't have that. What you're telling yourself you don't have. And so what you have is, you have a conscious fight with your subconscious computer. Subconscious is what runs everything in our life. We've put everything into there that we've learned, and it runs like a computer. You don't have to tell yourself when you get on a bicycle or when you get in your car to drive how to learn how to drive every time you get in there. That is subconsciously in you. So when you have a situation, right now you have bad credit, financial problems, low credit score, when you tell yourself that you want to consciously fix that you, even a step above that you fix that's, you don't even have that problem anymore. Because what I'm telling you to do is that to act as if you don't have that problem, to go into the feeling of all of that being accomplished. Subconsciously, what's going to happen is the feelings of where you are currently at are going to boil up. But see, let me tell you something. And if you look at anything, look online, go to anything, even here on YouTube, and you search for what is the subconscious mind, and you will see that what you've put into it, either on purpose or on accident or from your environment of what the way that you're living, all of that feeds into there, and it gives you that picture of what your reality comes from that. So what I'm telling you to do is to counteract that, because the subconscious mind doesn't know what's true or fake. If you tell it, hey, I got a 780 credit score, 780 credit score, 780, you do that enough, and you allow yourself to follow that pattern of getting to that realization of a 780 credit score, you will get there. You will become that person with a 780 credit score. But if you allow your subconscious to keep winning over that, which it will, because it's used to that. It's saying, hey, you're used to not having that score. So I don't know what this looks like having that high score. It don't even know that that high score is even a high score. It just knows that that's something different than what you've been giving it. So it's not trying not to get you to that score. It's not trying to not let you do the things to get to that score. What it's doing is it's playing the recording of what you fed it, which is what you're comfortable with. Because when you try to do things to get to that new score, it's not, what it's doing is it's saying, hey, are you sure you want to get to that? Are you sure? You can even do this in the reverse. Say your scores right now are in the 500s, very low score. Well, you can do some things to go lower than 500. You can get to the, I've seen some scores in the fours. And subconsciously, your body will work against you to go backwards too, to be worse than you are. Because there's some things that you could do right now to do worse. So now you're seeing both sides. So the subconscious is not trying to not let you go down. It's not trying to let you go up. What it's trying to do is to keep you comfortable with where you're at. So it's going to do the things to keep you comfortable where you're at because you fed it that. And the only way that it's going to allow you to move up is to feed it a new picture of where you want it to be. And you can't say, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get it. You have to start giving it that picture because it only knows what it is now. If you tell it over and over and over again, I'm going to be 780, 780. I'm 780 because I'm doing this. I have a new house. I have this car. And you picture that, it will come to fruition. It will materialize in your life. It's happened for me for numerous things in my life. I'm living in a house right here that my wife and I visualized. This house that we bought more than 20 years ago. Everything that we have in here, exercise rooms, the 3-car garage, the office room, this stuff was visualized. Yeah, it's not exactly the way that we had pictured it, but when we look back, it actually was, it's very similar. And the same with credit scores, what I did for myself with credit to get to where I'm at today and to get even higher. I do these things that I try to teach you. I do these things. So what I want you to do to review that before we move on is I want you to write down on a piece of paper your reason why you want to have good credit. The reason why you want to resolve all your credit and debt and your credit scores. And the way that you get to that is what will you do with that? So what will you do when you have that? Because that's going to give you the feeling. And then the next thing is I want you to say it 10 times every day, in the morning, 10 times at night. Look at that paper. Put it on your phone. Speak it into your phone and play it. And visualize it and feel it. And you will get there. And I want you to put a comment on here if you're going to participate in doing this. And I want you to let me know every day that you're doing it. And before we move forward, please like this video. Please like this video because it helps us, all of us, bring in more people to help them with their credit and their credit repair and their credit, their debt, all of that. It helps us be able to help more people. Now, let's get into the debt that's released in the market. And I'm telling you, they already have buyers. That's why they're not really sending out as many emails as before. But they did send out a jewelry file, mixed jewelry file, and they're actually selling it for 10% of what the principal is, which is $736,000, 790 accounts. The charge-off date is 2012. This is past statute of limitations for most of the states that have a statute. All states have a statute of limitations on debt that is not went to a judgment. But this is 2012. Anyone in my state is 6-year statute of limitations. They simply would just send them a letter saying that according to the laws of my state, that the debt you're trying to collect is past the statute of limitations, and I want you to cease all collection activities, or I will be reporting you to the proper authorities in my state, which in my state is Department of Financial Institution. It may be different in your state. How do you find out if it's past statute of limitations? I'm going to have that in a question and answer section. But so that's the debt that's being released into the market. And if you know from my other videos, the reason why they're not releasing as much is because they already have debt collectors lined up to buy them. So they're saying, if they're like in a way doing an auction, saying if you have this amount, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to gobble it up, because they know that most people don't know their rights when it comes to this outdated debt, and they're going to end up paying. Actually, what they're doing now is I'm seeing the prices go up for the debt when they were lower. Like this debt here usually would have went for about $1,500. They're selling this debt for over $7,000. $7,000. That means that the number one, the debt collectors are doing they're collecting a large amount of the debt that they're putting out, that they're buying, because they wouldn't take a chance on this. And knowing that the statute of limitations on this, and this is a national account, that statute of limitations on this is passed for most states, and that they're still willing to take the risk because they know that most people don't know their rights. So let me write down for the question and answers where we're starting at. Let's go to them here. First one that we had is a person said, how do you write a statute of limitations letter for a judgment? And you can't, statute of limitations for judgments is 20 years across the board in every state. So even if they wrote on here that it's been 9 years, 9 years is not past the statute of limitations, so it will not work. But if it was not a judgment, and you looked to see when the statute of limitations, well, let me just take you through the process. If it's not a judgment, you would look, and the way to find out if it's past statute of limitations is to first look at your state to see what is the statute of limitations laws for contracts in your state. Every state is different. You need to also look at your credit reports to see when it was the original charge-off date, not when they've inserted it, like if a debt collection company bought it and inserted it and tried to put it on your credit. No, not that date. You want the original charge-off date, which is going to be when the original creditor did it. And as long as it does not go to a judgment, this strategy works, and you just simply write them a letter on notifying them that you know that it's past statute of limitations for the state, and you want them to cease all collection activities for it. And so you can go to my website, thecreditrepairshop.com, to get the to check the statute of limitations. Go to my blog, type in statute of limitations, and then a page will come up letting you see where what that page what has a list of all the states that has the statute of limitations on it. If you don't have your credit reports, and you can go to my website, your3scores.com, to check the statute of limit. To check when the charge off or the write off was for that debt. It's going to be in the comment section. You need to have a paid monitoring service. It does not always show in those free services. Once you know that, then you can see where you're at with doing the statute of limitations letter. If you accidentally pay or do anything to restart, what they call restart a zombie debt, and that is actually a term with the FTC, is zombie debt that is woken up by you either making a small payment or doing something legally to a firm, like signing a new contract or something. So you gotta watch out with doing that if you get those letters. Let's move forward here. The next one is question about, someone said that I needed to change one of my videos that I had before. It says, how do you get a debt sent back to a debt collector? That was the question. And I had on the video how to get a debt collection sent back to the original creditor. And the person said I need to change that title. And I do agree that I should have had a more clear title, because it's more about getting the right information to the right people who are looking at the video. So what I'm doing is I'm making an update with this video on what to do. If you have a debt and you're not disabled, because what that video was about is if you have a disability or you're disabled and you notify the debt collection company and they're collecting it for an original creditor, or even sometimes for the debt collection company, but it mostly works when they're contracted by the original creditor and they send it back. They will send it back if you notify them that you're disabled, because they know that there's just no way that they're going to collect. And it's actually in the debt collection company's notes when they get that back, when they make the communication with the debtor and they notify them that they're disabled or have some type of hardship, disability hardship or medical hardship, they will send it back to the original creditor saying it is uncollectible. The strategy that I've also been using, if you don't have that, if you're not disabled, is that you could still call the debt collector, tell them, find out if they own the debt or they're collecting it for the original creditor, and then say that you want to send them a statement, a hardship statement, saying either due to what's going on with this COVID-19, what's going on with your job, what's going on medically, anything. You don't have to be have a legal description of you being disabled. You're just notifying them of a hardship, and you can send that hardship letter to them, very detailed about what you're going through, and they will usually send that to the original creditor, or they have it in their notes if they get that hardship letter and it meets certain standards, that they will send the debt back to the original creditor. And the original creditor, from what I've seen from experience, is that they will do what's called a 1099-C debt cancellation of debt, send that amount of money that they're forgiving to the IRS. The IRS is going to consider that income to you. You can get that amount waived, where you won't have to have that written in as income. There's a form, and you can look up one of my videos here. I show you that actual form. Just look on my channel, type in 1099-C debt cancellation. I have a video on what form you're going to have to fill out to get that amount waived, or you can do it with your tax preparer. So that's the process for doing that. Let's go on to the next one. Person stated here that they had a debt and they know that the debt is not theirs, and the debt collection company reported it on their credit reports, or the original creditor. I think they didn't say if it was a debt collector. This is something that actually happened to me once before with a an account where someone had got a an account, what was it, a department store card, and I was like, I never had this. And so what you have to do, the reason why they disregard people when they have this happen and they notify the debt collector or the original creditor, is because you haven't given them the proper documentation to state it to them. It's like you either say it over the phone or you send them a letter, and that letter does not state what they legally have to prove. So if you say this debt is not mine, they're going to be like, okay, we heard that before. But if you state that you want them to validate the debt, proving the contract and everything about the debt, proving that it's yours, then they have to do the digging. And when they dig, they find out this debt was not theirs, or they give you the information and you show to them, this is not my signature on the original contract. This is not my address. This was ID theft. And then you go and you prepare an ID theft kit for them. Or what you could do, if you don't want to do the debt validation, you could simply send them the ID theft kit saying that this account is not mine, and they're going to take it serious. So that's the reason why they will disregard you for a lot of stuff if you don't write it the right way. They're going to get it, they're going to look at it, and they're going to say, we hear this all the time. Let's see here. We got another one here. Person, they got one from Verizon, filed this year and never asked them to cancel the debt. It was forwarded to a debt collection. Okay. You're not okay. They're saying that they got a debt cancellation from Verizon for a past due balance, and they refused to fill out the 1099 form, and it still shows it active on my credit reports. Yeah, that's strange. I would have to look at that, but let me just, the way that I'm understanding it, the way that you stated it, you have the Verizon account and you canceled it, asked them to cancel the debt. It was forwarded to a collection agency, and then Verizon, after they sent that form, after I filed my okay, so they sent the form to the IRS saying that they canceled the debt, and you don't have to fill out the 1099-C form. There's nothing to fill out on there. They are going to send that to the IRS. If they cancel the debt, that is at their own prerogative to be able to cancel the debt. So it has nothing to do with you filling out a form. They're going to send that, and as long as they cancel the debt, the IRS is going to consider that income towards you. So you need to do what I had just stated in the last question, in the last one of the questions from before, is that you're going to need to get that, and it shouldn't be much. I mean, what are we talking? Unless you had like a major account with them, it's going to be a few $100s, or 500 at the most. They're going to consider that income. You'll be able to either write it off or get it waived regardless. But it's not going to matter that you don't fill out anything. Yes, they will want you to amend your taxes, because if they filed that after you filed your taxes, they're just going to do that for your 2020 taxes. It's not going to affect what's going on for 2019. Because you didn't get the form in time. And even if it does, they're going to give you the opportunity to adjust that. So that's, from the way you wrote it, that's the way that I'm understanding it. If not, please clarify it when I write the response back to you on the YouTube comment section. All right, we're going to end it here. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, or post your comments. If you need help with your credit, please visit my website, thecreditrepairshop.com. We do charge people for our services. Someone got upset saying that I'm doing videos here, and my ultimate goal is to get paid, not to help people. My ultimate goal is to help people and to get paid for helping people. There's links below here for different products and services that I had to offer below the video. If you need your credit reports and scores, I would appreciate if you use my website, www.your3scores.com. Thank you again. Stay safe. And this is Stephen Williams, founder and president of the creditrepairshop.com. And until next time, thank you.